Hey folks, what's going on? First ride of 2024. Beautiful 56, 57 degree day here in Texas, so had to get out on the road glide for a bit. I hope you guys had a good Christmas break and New Year's break. I was off for a week, so that was awesome. Went over to Mississippi, hung out at the farm for a while, did a little bit of deer hunting with no success, but it was still fun getting out into the woods as usual. Just kind of turned off the news, turned off the phones, and tuned everything out for about 10 days. That was awesome. Had a big New Year's Eve get together with a bunch of friends that I hadn't seen in a long time, so that was pretty special. I always enjoyed seeing friends, but anyway, just out today, so I thought I'd shoot a video of this. I'm about halfway between Bluffdale and Granbury right now on 377, actually closer to Granbury, but didn't have any particular place to go, so I got online, pulled up one of my favorite websites, the old Texas Historic Commission maps. They have maps on there of all the historical sites in Texas, and if you've ever been through Texas, there's a ton of historical markers. I always enjoy pulling over and reading those, seeing what they're about, and a lot of times it'll, you know, spur some thought to go back and look it up online or in books and read more about the history of the area. So today, I tried to keep it fairly close to home. I got about 140, 150 mile route planned, and I was going to start up here in Granbury at the Acton Cemetery, which is just a couple of miles outside of Granbury on FM4. Actually, it's right before you turn on FM4. I forget what the road is, maybe 162, something like that. I can't remember, but it's right where 4 comes into Granbury, and that's where there's a pretty special marker there. I believe it's Elizabeth Crockett, who was the wife of Davy Crockett. Obviously, I'm sure most of you heard of Davy Crockett. If not, grab a history book somewhere. But anyway, it's a pretty, from the description, it looks like it's a pretty tall marker. And apparently it's got her kind of gazing out into the distance, you know, hoping for her husband to return, I guess is what the tale would be. But anyway, we're going to go check that out. Probably be there in about, I don't know, depending on the traffic in Granbury, less than 10 minutes or so. So I thought that'd be a good place to start. Then I got a couple other markers I'm going to try to hit today too, as long as the sun doesn't go away and it doesn't get cold, because unfortunately I can't take cold weather. But it's beautiful out here right now. Also trying out a new piece of gear I just got. I don't think I've mentioned it on these rides before, but I'm a big fan of Aerostitch gear. Been wearing their stuff since about 1994. Currently I'm wearing a Darien suit, a jacket and pants. They're all waterproof, they're Gore-Tex. Makes a great outer layer, and then you can kind of bundle up as required underneath. You know, the disclaimer there is in Texas, when it gets up to 80 degrees, anything over 80 degrees, I can't really take this stuff. It's too hot. Even though it's Gore-Tex, it doesn't really breathe, so I have to swap over to mesh in the high heat. But anyway, regardless, what I was going to mention is I just bought a Aerostitch, I guess it's called their Tech Fleece liner. It's a standalone jacket that's made to complement this Darien jacket. It fits underneath. It's got kind of the right proportion cut where the arms are a little longer. You know, the flank section's a little shorter so it doesn't bunch up. It's got some wind blocking stuff up front, and it's lined with fleece, and man, it's really great. Right now, like I said, it's about 56, 57 degrees, and man, I feel like it's, you know, nice and toasty here under my suit. So anyway, I'll take some pictures of that and show it to you at some point in this video, but really happy with it. I mean, I can't remember what I paid. I want to say this thing's normally like around 200, 250 bucks, maybe 270, something like that. I think it was on sale and I got it for, I don't know, less than 200. I can't remember exactly. It was one of the Aerostitch, you know, Christmas season sales that they do all the time, and I'm on their mailing list, so I'm obviously addicted to their gear, and whenever I see something, I guess in this case it wasn't really spur of the moment, because I'd been eyeballing this thing for a while, but I wasn't in at you know, 250 or 300, but for less than 200 I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I wish I would have had it earlier, because it's the perfect complement for this suit, this jacket. I've been wearing this Darien gear for about 8 years. Before that I had a Road Crafter, which I still have, but and it's still in decent shape. I bought it in '94 when I got my first brand new motorcycle, back when I had my CBR 1000, and it worked great, but unfortunately my body's not the same size as it was 30 years ago. So and quite honestly, this Darien is a two-piece. The Roadcrafter was a one-piece. I like the flexibility of the two-piece. You know, if you get hot, you can take the jacket off, still leave the pants on. Another thing I like is if you're riding and it's been raining most of the day and then it quits, you know, in summertime I can take the top off because it gets too hot, put my mesh on, but still leave the Gore-Tex waterproof bottoms on, so all the spray coming off the road doesn't, you know, get the front of my legs soaked. You know, anybody's ridden in the rain's probably experienced that before. So anyway, looks like we're in Granbury now, so I think I'll sign off and we'll catch back up at Acton Cemetery hopefully here in less than 10 minutes or so. Hey folks, we are here at the Acton Historic Site, or the Acton Cemetery. I don't see any current services going on, so I decided just to ride on in to the Elizabeth Crockett Monument, which I believe is right here. Let's see if we can loop around. May have to get off and walk. I'm not sure what the situation is. Yeah, looks like we'll have to walk. Let's see if there's anywhere convenient to park. Very clean here. Obviously a bunch of leaves on the ground because it's winter time, but other than that, it looks pretty clean. I think this looks like a pretty vacant area here, so let's try this. Get off the road. Cool. Not too soft. That's how we like it, right? Cool. Okay. Grab my camera. I was going to take a few pics of this while we're here too. Sure do like the trunk on this Road Glide. Makes everything nice and convenient. Yeah, so this is right here on FM 167, right outside of, or I guess typically in Acton, but FM 4 is just right over there where you turn to go back towards, what is that, Cleburne, I guess, over there. Oh yeah, she's looking to the east. No, let me get my bearing right. Looking to the west, okay. I'm surprised that's not, I don't know. I thought it might have been looking to the south, towards the Alamo, but I think this is east. Pretty cool. I've heard about this thing. It's the first time I put eyes on it. Elizabeth Patton Crockett, daughter of Robert Patton, soldier, North Carolina. Revolutionary War marker placed by Elizabeth Crockett chapter, NSDAR. National something, Daughters of the American Revolution, I would assume. Not sure. Pretty cool little history here. Elizabeth Crockett, wife of Davy Crockett, born in Buncombe County, North Carolina, May 22nd, 1788. Married to David Crockett in Lawrence County, Tennessee, 1815. Died in Johnson County, now Hood County, January 31st, 1860, age 72 years. Wow. Interesting. Definitely some old grave sites here. I can see why this is a registered historic landmark, or Texas landmark. Cool. All right, well, we're done here at the Acton State Historic Site. Just got through checking out the Confederate Veterans Monument over there, the Elizabeth Crockett headstone or monument, however you want to describe it. So now we're headed out. So it's pretty cool. Never seen this before. Spent a few minutes wandering around. Not too many. I will say one thing. This new fleece liner I got on, if I was there much longer, I'd be having to shed some clothes, because man, at 50 degrees, it's just 58 degrees or whatever it is now. It's just a little too toasty with this thing on, but it really feels good at speed. Typical motorcycle issue, right? Freeze to death while riding, burn up when sitting still, but it's just the nature of the beast. So anyway, we're going to head over to the other side of Granbury. There's a couple of markers there that I wanted to check out. One of them I'd been to, but it's been like over a decade ago. It is the marker for the, I believe it was called the, what was it? Rand Christian College. I think it was named for, I forget the names of the folks, but it was, I think the father's name was Anthony and the son's name was Randolph or something like that, and they combined it to come up with Ayn Rand, or Ayn Rand, not Ayn Rand, the philosopher, but Ayn Rand Christian College. But anyway, I think the story there is it was originally started out as a small Christian school. They transferred it to Waco, and then it transferred to Fort Worth, where ultimately it became what we know today as TCU. I'm sure I probably got some of that wrong. I just read over it this morning. But we're going to check it out, and I'm sure the historical marker will straighten us out. So headed back towards Granbury. This is in a little area on FM4 called Thorp Springs. I guess the Thorps may have been the family that started it. I'm not sure. I think they donated land for the original school or something like that. But anyway, we'll go take a look, see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm already cooling off now, man. Got back on this thing, and after sweating a little bit with the fleece on, it just immediately turns to ice water. So I don't know what the hell this guy's doing. I don't think he does either. Oh well. All right, we'll touch base again here when we get to the other side, hopefully here in about 15-20 minutes. All right, here we are. Let me turn around here and I'll park. Thorp Spring Church of Christ Tabernacle. So I think this is essentially where what we now know as TCU actually started. And we'll go get the history here in just a second, but turn around here in the shade. All right. Yeah, I remember seeing this place. A guy I used to ride with like 15, 17 years ago. He brought me out here one time and showed me this, and I had largely forgot all about it until I was looking at the historical maps today and saw it. So I figured, well, that's very, very close to where I live, so let's go check it out. Grab the camera, because like last time, I'm going to take a few pics. So this is just on FM4, just west of Granbury, not very far. See what the marker here says. Okay, here J.A. Clark and his two sons, Addison and Randolph. Okay, I said Ann and Rand, but I said Anthony and Randolph, so I got half right. Here J.A. Clark and his two sons, Addison and Randolph, began a private school, chartered in 1873 under the name of Ad Rand Christian College. Removed to Waco on December 5th, 1895, dang, Christmas Day. Reestablished at Fort Worth in 1909 as Texas Christian University. Erected... Oh, that's just for the marker, erected in 1936. Wow. So, the humble beginnings of TCU right here is kind of neat. Got a couple other markers here, too. See what they say. Cornerstone. name kind of hard to read. Adrian Cole, founder. A. Clark, B. Clark, or A. Clark, R. Clark. This obviously Addison and Randolph, 1873. Laid by Granite Lodge. I can't read it. AF and AM. Something, 82. Replica of the main building cornerstone of Adran College, the forerunner of TCU at Thorp Spring. The original stone was presented to TCU by Dallas Christian School and the Ex-Students Association of Thorp Spring Christian College, 1910 to 1928. The last college at this location. The gift was made to honor Joseph Addison Clark and his sons, Addison and Randolph Clark, the founders of Adran and pioneers of Christian education in Texas. Okay, cool. Could have fooled me that it's a replica. Looks pretty real. Got one more marker over here we'll check out. Thorp Springs Christian College Board of Regents. I won't go through the list, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 13 names it looks like. Cool. It'll be interesting to see what this looked like back in the day. I'm pretty sure when it was founded it didn't have Romex and light fixtures, especially not the ceramic type, but interesting nonetheless. Man, alright, so here's another marker right here. Couldn't drive up to it, but I want to stop and get a picture of it. I think this is the marker for Thorp Springs and who may have dedicated the land here. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's tied into the TCU marker or not. Okay. Pleasant Thorp. In 1840, a blacksmith named Pleasant Thorp immigrated to Texas. He planned to settle in this area after traveling while on the Morehouse expedition. As part of his holdings totaling nearly 18,000 acres, Thorp encountered sulfur springs, which led to his setting aside land for the town of Thorp Spring. He and Sam Milliken established Thorp College in 1871. This early school gave way in 1863 to Adran College. Okay, so it was connected, which moved to Waco in 86 and Fort Worth in 1910, ultimately becoming Texas Christian University, or TCU. In 1888, Thorp deeded to Hood County the portion of his land containing the spring to form a public park. A true Texas pioneer, Pleasant Thorp left a great legacy for residents and posterity to cherish. Pretty awesome. Kind of cool. Not sure why they picked here. I guess it's just a good area because, I don't know, got part of Lake Granbury right there. It's a little bit off the road and kind of looks like a little park or something here, I guess. But anyway, cool. Hey folks, welcome back. We are now south of Granbury and Thorp Springs. We're entering Glen Rose here on 367, or excuse me, on Highway 67 North. Gonna try to find the dinosaur marker they have here, historic marker. If you're not familiar with the story of Glen Rose, there's a dinosaur state park here, and years ago they found dinosaur footprints in the river. I believe it's the Paluxy River that goes through there, and I don't know if it was clay, limestone, what it was, but whatever, the dinosaurs, when they passed through, their footprints were there, and somehow they got fossilized and preserved over time. I'm not sure if fossilized is the correct word because it's not really stone, but anyway, it's in the riverbed. So that's kind of cool to see. And over here in downtown, I guess what I would call downtown Glen Rose, they got a couple of markers. I believe there's one for the Dinosaur Tracks, and there's another one for Bernard Bernard's Mill. That was a guy that started this place. He had multiple trading posts in this area, and a lot of the, after they moved out, I guess the Indian population, that's when the trading posts kind of dried up just a little bit north of here, and he came down here and started this community, which ultimately turned into Glen Rose. So that's really about the only history I know about it. We're on 144 now, fixing to cross the river here in a bit, but hopefully we can find this sign down here when we get into town. Right now we're going to come past the, I forget what they call this area, but they got a bunch of huge rocks out here in the river, and of course obviously you won't see it today, but during the summertime there's always a bunch of families and kids out here just kind of playing in the water. I think it's right up here on the left. Can't remember the name of this. We'll see it here in a minute. Big Rock Park maybe, or something like that. Sounds too obvious, but I think that may be what it is. Yeah, Big Rocks Park. Kind of hard to see at this angle, but you can see where they got the river dammed up and a lot of the rocks back there. There's actually some people out today because it's warm, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, we'll go around a couple of curves and we will be into, I guess what I'd call downtown Glen Rose, or Glen Rose proper, right here on the river. I think this is where the original Bernard's Mill was, and there's supposed to be a sign for that, a historic marker, and then there's also one for the Dinosaur Tracks. But I think there's a lot of bed and breakfast type operations down here in this area. Kind of a getaway spot that's not that far from Fort Worth, and it's really, you know, we're in Bluffdale, so it's not far for us at all. Let's see. Alright, it's going to be over here to the right. I've been through here a lot of times, but not to where this sign is located, so this will be kind of new. Okay, it's right here on the square maybe. Let's see. Typical Texas small town square here. Alright. Let you go first since I'm going to stop, dude. Alright. According to this, it should be right here. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Awesome. Okay, let's get out and check it out. Get off and check it out, I guess I should say. So I've got the little museum here too, Somervell County. Have not ever checked that out, so be another one to come back to. Yeah, so there's the old courthouse. Date says 1893. Interesting. Old stone construction. Dinosaur tracks formed hundreds. 100 million years ago. Not used to seeing that many zeros. Tracks of 3 kinds of dinosaurs are preserved in the limestone below the Paluxy River. Types include a meat eater, a plant eater who left 3-toed tracks like birds, and a plant eater who made huge 5-toed prints. For years following their discovery, about 1910, the tracks remained a novelty. When Paluxy River ran low, farmers caught catfish stranded in them. Excavations by a prominent museum and several universities in 1938 brought the tracks to the attention of the world. Very cool. Alright, we're going to see if we can find the Bernard's Mill sign. I think it's a smaller sign because I think the building is still used. They may have turned it into a tavern or something. I'm not sure what. I think it's right here on this, on 56. We'll see. Yeah, right down here. I've got it marked. That's the old sanitarium right there. I think Synder Sanatorium. Doctor, yeah, there's the sign for Bernard's Mill. So see if we can come back and get a picture of it. Not a whole bunch of places to turn or to pull over here, but we'll take what we can get. I don't know if this is illegal or not. I guess it's not if you don't get caught, right? All right. Oh, old car over there, old pickup or truck. I mean, kind of cool. Bernard's Mill, early Texas grist mill built like a fort with gun ports and walls 3 feet thick at bottom to withstand Indian attacks. Constructed in 1860 by Charles Bernard, who, with his brother George, ran it until 1874. Previously, the Bernards had successful trading houses in Waco Village and elsewhere. For years, social events were held on the third floor. Cotton Gin Annex was erected in 1895. Building was a hospital 1943 to 71. Interesting. Very cool. All right. Put it in gear. That helps. All right, so that completes our tour of Glen Rose with a little bit of the historic data around here. Gonna head south from here and we'll see what comes up next. Yeah, this is back to 141, which is kind of one of the main thoroughfares between Granbury and Glen Rose. Nice signal, bro. If he'd quit reading his mail, maybe he could drive a little better. Alright, so now we're going to cross the river, which obviously powered the grist mill back in the day. Gonna see some of the old, I guess what's left of the little Lime Rock Dam there. Really like this area. It's, I don't know, could be, it'd definitely be a cool place to live, but it'd be a little further for us to drive every day back and forth commuting to Fort Worth, and I'm pretty much at the threshold of my pain level right now at 51 miles per day. Alright, fixing to get to rolling again, and we'll check back in later. Well, rolling into Walnut Springs now. Passed through here before on a couple of videos, but there's a place called Katy Park here on the end of town. There's a couple of bikes at Rattlesnake today. Surprised it's not more, but I guess it's, what, 3:30 or so, so if anybody rode down for Fort Worth, they're probably trying to get home before dark, I guess, when it gets cold. But anyway, yeah, Walnut Springs. Don't really know the history of this place or how it got on the map. I'm sure it's because the river passes through here. But anyway, this little area right here I found on the historical map. It's called Katy Park. Don't really know a whole bunch about it. I know there's a couple of markers here. So I was going to stop and check them out. I think it may have been the people that founded the town. I'm not really sure. But I think it's a couple of, how do you say, Confederate veterans, I guess would be the correct term for it. Not really sure. But we're here, so let's go check it out. I kind of parked on a pretty good hill here, too. See if we can take some of that angle out. I guess not. We'll go this way. I'm sure the last thing I want to do is be trying to pick up a 1,000-pound road glide off the pavement. Alright, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 markers. James Buckner Buckberry. Dang, a lot of bees. Came to Texas from North Carolina in 1845, fought in Mexican War and Indian campaigns. In the Civil War, commanded Confederate Cavalry Regiment and Texas Outpost. from Red River to Fort McAvitt. Camps were a day's horseback ride apart. Patrols protected outer settlements and prevented Indian attacks and threatened federal invasion from Indian territory. Elected to Texas legislature 1883, died on ranch near here, left personal records of his years in frontier defenses. Interesting. A lot of action. Okay, World War I monument. And World War II, okay. 3 infantry killed in action, World War I. Looks like 6 for World War II. Navy, infantry. I'm going backwards. If I start at the top, I guess that's Air Force, parachute trooper, Coast Guard infantry, Merchant Marine, and U.S. Navy. Not sure if I got my military terms correct. Sorry if I didn't. No disrespect intended. Freedom is not free. In honor of those who are serving and have served in the armed forces of the United States of America. 2020. J.J. Curitan, CSA, Indian fighter, lawman, and rancher, settled on the Palo Pinto County frontier 1854, led neighbors in defending homes during Indian raids. In 1860, helped rescue Cynthia Ann Parker, who had been taken 24 years before by Comanches. Damn. Captain in frontier troops during Civil War, defending northwest Texas from Indians and northern invasion. Camp Curitan, Archer County, CSA outpost was named for him. Sheriff of Boss County, 1876 to 1880. Grave is on Flat Top Ranch near here. Wow. So that's pretty interesting. A little history of some of the veterans here, and I guess some of the founders. Pretty cool. It's amazing what you find in your backyard if you look hard enough. When it comes to history, anyway. Hey folks, back again. We are just east of Cranfills Gap, Texas. It's County Road 4145. A little rough down through here, but we're heading over to what they call the Rock Church. I believe it's Lutheran. I may be wrong on that, not 100% sure, but to my knowledge, the history of this thing is there was a huge, I guess, Norwegian population here that moved in here and started farming back, I don't know, I guess Civil War days or maybe before. And I think that's where this church sprung up, was a place for them to worship. I forget the guy's name. I'm sure it'll be down here on the historic sign, but he built a lot of rock structures around this area. I'm assuming a lot of them are probably still standing. But the one we're headed to see is the Rock Church. I'm pretty sure that it's still active. They still have a congregation. I've heard about it time and time again, but never been by here before, so just kind of one of those other things that's in the backyard that I thought would be cool to check out. So that's really about the history of it as far as I know. I thought we were a little closer. Yeah, I guess we are getting close, but not knowing too much about it, don't have a whole bunch more to say. Like I said, my understanding is there was a huge Norwegian population here that immigrated, started farming and doing stuff of that nature, and from that sprung the church. So hopefully it'll be around the next corner here. Oh yeah, I see it. Just saw it through the trees. There it is. I don't know if you can see it from this angle. Yeah, there you go. Very cool. Pretty tall steeple on that. I'm sure they had fun erecting that thing back around the turn of the century, the previous century. I want to say this thing was late 1800s, but I guess we'll find out here in a minute. I'm not sure if there's a sign. Oh, there's a fence. Maybe it's locked. I don't know. Nope. All right. Won't see anything that says do not enter, so let's go take some pictures. Yeah, here we go. Nelda Joy Tigerson, if that's correct, I don't know. Man, that is very cool looking, isn't it? I wonder why they call it the Rock Church. I kid. Man, that is pretty awesome. Oh yeah, there's the historic sign, historic marker. Man, I love this area down here. Nice to get away from civilization every now and then. Alright. I like the rock driveway too. No falling down. Man, pretty awesome. St. Olaf's Kirk, 30th of May, 1886. Okay, wow. 1880s. The Rock Church, built in 1886 of native stone by architect Andrew Mickelson and his brothers Christian and Ole Mickelson. I guess they're not Spanish, right? It originally had a dirt floor and planks laid on wooden kegs for pews. The bell was acquired in 1897. The church served the Norwegian settlers of this area who were members of Our Savior's Lutheran Church of Norse, 6 miles east of here. In 1902, the growth of the community necessitated separation from the Norse church, and the St. Olaf congregation was organized. A new edifice was erected in Cranfills Gap, 4 miles away, in 1917, and this church has since been used only for special services. Okay, so not active, but there are special services here, I guess, is what that's saying. Wow. That's pretty awesome. See, we got an antenna going all the way up to the top. I'm guessing that wasn't here in 1886. That looks like another marker over here for the graveyard. Man, they keep the grounds up here, don't they? It's beautiful out here, man. Okay, this is a list of contributors. So I guess this is a lot of the people that donated or keep this place up. Wow. I actually have a co-worker, good friend of mine, that I've ridden with a few times. I believe his dad is actually buried in this cemetery. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I remember him mentioning that to me a while back. Wow. Definitely worth riding out here to see. Man, this wind is getting violent here too. It's been windy all day, so I think there's pretty much storms or at least cold front moving in tonight. Not sure. Nice looking house on the hill over there too. Take one more look from back here. Oh man, that sunlight's got us. Get in the shadow here. Oh yeah. Man, beautiful. Awesome. Horny Toad, Cranfills Gap. Always see bikes there. Good food, cold beer, good folks. So anyway, we just left the Rock Church just above Cranfills Gap and now headed back home. This is, what are we on, 219? Yeah. Gonna take it up to, actually probably just take it all the way back to Hyco, honestly. Could take 219 or maybe 1602, depending on how we want to go. But I think that's pretty much all the, historic sites or the markers I was going to look at. We may find a straggler on the way home. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Been pretty fun so far, just getting out today for the first ride of 2024. I got about, 50 miles to go. I think I'm right at 130 now, so this will be about a 180-mile ride today, which is not too bad. will say I'm pretty happy with this Aerostitch, what they call it, a TLT Tech fleece or some kind of shit like that. I don't know. It's basically fleece. It's got a wind stopper in front. But man, this thing is so warm. When I stop for gas and every time I stop for pics, if I'm stopped for more than a few minutes, I start sweating. So I guess that's a good thing. I wanted it to be warm, but I think this is going to be my new cold weather go-to. I know it's only, you know, 50-ish out here now, probably 56, 58 by now. But I get cold easily, especially the older and fatter I get, it's even worse. So glad I picked this thing up. Based on my one data point so far, it seems to be pretty comfy. Wow. Okay, they fixed it. There used to be giant potholes right there where that patch was. But yeah, digging it so far. I think today I probably could have got by with just a standard sweatshirt instead of this fleece under my jacket, but never hurts to be too warm. I'd rather have it and not need it than the other way around. So anyway, been a fun ride. Headed back to the house now, and yeah, it's been great. Good way to kick off. It's my first week back at work. Last week it was pretty enough to get a ride in this weekend, so I hope that'll be true next weekend. Not really sure yet. There's allegedly storms and cold fronts moving in tonight, so I'm glad it waited till Monday to happen instead of doing it today on Sunday, so it didn't affect the ride. So all good, enjoyed it as always. Thanks for riding along. See you on the next ride.